It is 11 o'clock at night. You are lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, surrounded by darkness and quiet. But your brain is wide awake. Not because you are excited about something. Not because you are planning a vacation or thinking about something fun. Because you are doing the kind of math you can feel in your chest. Okay, let me run the numbers again. The car payment comes out tomorrow morning. That is $450. The electricity bill hits on Friday, and it is higher than usual because of the heat wave. That is $220. Rent was already paid, thank goodness. But groceries this week, and the credit card minimum, and the phone bill. Can all of this clear without me having to move money between accounts again? Without overdraft fees? Without that sick feeling when you check your balance? And here is the weird part. The part that makes no sense when you think about it. You did everything you were told to do. You got the degree. You stayed up late studying, took out the loans, walked across that stage. You got the job. You showed up on time, worked hard, played the game. You got the promotion. More responsibility, more hours, more money. So why does it still feel like this? Why does it still feel like you are one small surprise, one flat tire, one medical bill, one thing going wrong, away from total panic? Let me tell you something that will instantly make you feel less crazy. Something that might lift a weight you did not even know you were carrying. This is not a you problem. This is not about you being bad with money or undisciplined or irresponsible. This is a trap problem. Most people do not go broke from one big disaster. That is the story we tell ourselves, that it takes something dramatic to ruin your finances. But that is not how it actually happens. Most people go broke from 20 totally normal choices running at the same time. 20 small decisions that seemed fine in isolation, that everyone around them was making, that felt completely reasonable in the moment. It is like carrying a backpack with tiny holes. One hole? No big deal. A little air leaks, a little dust escapes, you do not even notice. But 20 holes? Your stuff is gone before you know it. You reach into the backpack and it is empty, and you have no idea when it all slipped away. My name is Mike. Today we are going to point a flashlight at those holes. Not to shame you. Not to lecture you. Not to make you feel bad about the past. Because you cannot escape a trap you cannot see. You cannot fix a problem you do not know exists. And once you see these traps, once you really understand them, you cannot unsee them. They become obvious. They become avoidable. You stop falling into them automatically and start walking around them instead. Let us go. Part 1. Why normal feels safe but is not. Here is the trick that makes these traps so effective. Most financial traps do not feel like traps. They do not look dangerous. They do not come with warning labels or flashing red lights. They feel like this. I deserve this. After a long week, after working hard, after dealing with stress, I deserve a little reward. It feels reasonable. It feels earned. They feel like this. Everyone does this. This is normal. This is what people do. I am not being weird or extreme. I am just living a normal life like everyone else. They feel like this. It is just one little payment. One small subscription. One extra expense. It is not going to break me. It is not a big deal. They feel like this. I will start saving later. Right now I have things I need, things I want, things that feel urgent. Later, when things settle down, I will get serious. They feel like this. This is what adults do. Buy houses, take loans, have car payments, carry credit card balances. This is just part of life. That is why the traps work. They are not loud. They are not dramatic. They do not announce themselves. They are quiet. They blend in. They feel normal. They do not punch you in the face. They slowly drain you, like a phone battery with too many apps running in the background. You do not notice the drain moment by moment. You just know that by the end of the day, your battery is dead and you do not know where the power went. So we are going to do something simple today. We will take the normal stuff, the stuff everyone does, the stuff that feels completely reasonable, and we will look at what it actually costs over time. Because time is where the truth shows up. Time reveals what the moment hides. Time turns small leaks into empty accounts. Part 2. Trap number 1. The raise that disappears. This one is sneaky because it feels like a prize. It feels like success. It feels like progress. You get a raise. Maybe it is a promotion. Maybe it is a new job. Maybe it is just the annual increase you have been waiting for. You are proud. You earned it. You worked for it. You deserve it. So you upgrade just a little. Nothing crazy. You move to a slightly nicer apartment. Not a penthouse, just a place with better light and a dishwasher that actually works. You get a slightly nicer car. Not a luxury vehicle, just something newer and more reliable. You stop buying the store brand at the grocery store because come on, your life is improving, you can afford the name brand now. And your bank account looks fine for a while. The numbers are still there. Nothing alarming happens. But here is the trap. When your income goes up, your lifestyle quietly climbs up too. It happens automatically, without you even deciding. You just get used to the new normal. The nicer apartment becomes just home. The nicer car becomes just transportation. The name brand becomes just groceries. And most people do not save more. They do not increase their savings rate. They do not put that raise to work building their future. They just spend more in nicer packaging. Here is a kid version to make it stick. It is like getting a bigger bucket and immediately drilling bigger holes in it. You have more water coming in, but you also have more water going out. The level stays the same. You are working harder just to stay in place. Here is a simple rule that changes everything. When you get a raise, save the first half before your brain gets used to it. Before it becomes part of your normal spending. Before you adjust your lifestyle upward. Save half automatically, invisibly, before you ever see it. Then use the other half to enjoy life. Because if you do not do this, you will work harder and harder, earn more and more, and still feel exactly the same. You will be on a treadmill that never gets you anywhere. Part 3. Trap number 2. The forever car payment. Walk through a normal neighborhood on any street in America. Nice houses. Nice lawns. Nice driveways. And in almost every single driveway, a vehicle that costs more than it needs to. Not luxury cars necessarily. Just newer cars. Financed cars. Leased cars. Cars with payments that stretch years into the future. Here is the problem with big car payments that nobody talks about. A car is not a money machine. It does not grow in value. It does not produce income. It does not build wealth. It is the opposite of an investment. A car is like buying an ice cream cone that melts every single day. The moment you drive it off the lot, it loses value. And every day you own it, it costs you money. Depreciation, insurance, maintenance, gas, payments. And the trap inside the trap is even worse. People roll old debt into new debt. They trade in a car, still owe money on it, and that leftover debt gets added to the next loan. So they are paying for a car they do not even own anymore, on top of paying for the new one. They are not owning a car. They are renting metal forever with interest. They are making payments year after year after year, never actually building equity, never reaching the point where they own it free and clear. Kid version. It is like borrowing a toy, paying for it every month, and never actually getting to keep it. You make payments forever and still have nothing at the end. Here is the wealth-building move. Buy reliable used cars. Keep them longer. Drive them until they cost more to fix than they are worth. And invest the difference between what you would have paid and what you actually spend. Because that payment you normalize today, the one that feels normal because everyone has one, can steal your future quietly. That $400 a month, invested over decades, becomes hundreds of thousands of dollars. It becomes retirement security. It becomes freedom. Or it becomes a car payment. You choose. Part 4. Trap number 3. Minimum payments equal maximum time. Credit cards can be useful. They are convenient. They offer protection. They can help build credit. Used correctly, they are fine. But carrying a balance is like walking uphill with a heavy bag on your back. You can do it. You can keep going. But it wears you down. It slows you down. It makes everything harder. The minimum payment looks friendly. It looks helpful. It says, just pay this small amount and you are good. You are fine. Everything is okay. And your brain treats that minimum payment like a finish line. You pay it and think, done. Paid. Handled. I did what I was supposed to do. But meanwhile, interest keeps running. Month after month after month. Year after year. That $2,000 purchase from 3 years ago has cost you thousands more in interest, and you still have not paid it off. Kid version. It is like cleaning only the corner of your room and saying my room is clean. You did something. You made a little progress. But the mess is still there, still waiting for you, still growing in the background. Here is a rule that sounds harsh but is one of the cleanest rules in money. If you cannot pay it off this month, you cannot afford it. If you have to carry a balance, if you have to pay interest, you are buying something beyond your means. That sentence might feel uncomfortable. It might make you look at things differently. But it is true. Because debt is expensive. The interest you pay is money you will never get back. Money that could have been invested. Money that could have grown. Money that could have built your future instead of funding your past. Part 5. Trap number 4. The house the bank approved. A bank can approve you for a big mortgage. A really big mortgage. And when they do, it feels like a gold star. It feels like validation. It feels like proof that you can handle it. But banks are not grading your comfort. They are not checking whether you will sleep well at night. They are not calculating whether you will have money left for fun or savings or emergencies. They are checking one thing only. Can you survive the payment without immediately defaulting? Comfort and survival are not the same thing. The bank's approval and your peace of mind are different numbers. And houses have invisible costs that the mortgage payment does not include. Repairs happen. Things break. Appliances die. Roofs leak. Furnaces stop working. Water heaters fail. Maintenance never ends. Kid version. Buying a house is like buying a pet dragon. The price of buying the dragon is not the problem. The problem is feeding it forever. The problem is what it costs to keep it alive. Here is a simple rule that protects you from this trap. Buy less house than you are approved for. Significantly less. Leave room. Leave margin. Leave space in your budget for life to happen. Because approval is not a blessing. It is not a reward. It is a business decision made by people who do not care about your peace of mind. You have to care about that yourself. Part 6. Trap number 5. The subscription fog. Quick question for you. How much do you think you spend on subscriptions every month? Streaming services, music apps, Delivery passes, cloud storage, gym memberships, apps, all of it. Most people guess low. Way lower than the real number. Because subscriptions are designed to be tiny leaks. They are small amounts, taken automatically, easy to ignore. Streaming here. Music there. A delivery pass you signed up for during a busy month. Cloud storage because you ran out of space. Apps you downloaded once and forgot. Memberships you keep because they make you feel like the type of person who goes to the gym, even though you never go. Add them up and it is not small anymore. It is $50, $100, $200 a month. Thousands a year. Money leaving your account every month for things you barely use. Kid version. It is like paying for a playground you never visit. You hand over money every month for the privilege of knowing you could go if you wanted to, but you never actually go. Here is the move. Audit your subscriptions once a month. Actually look at what is coming out of your account. Cancel anything that does not make your life better on a weekly basis. If you are not using it every week, you probably do not need it. That money, redirected to savings or investments, becomes something real over time. It becomes freedom instead of fog. Part 7. Trap number 6. No emergency shield. If you do not have emergency savings, every single surprise becomes debt. Every unexpected expense becomes a credit card charge. Every problem becomes an interest payment. Car breaks. Credit card. Medical bill. Credit card. Water heater dies. Credit card. Washing machine stops working. Credit card. Roof leak. Credit card. And then that $2,000 surprise becomes $3,000, $4,000, because interest joins the party and never leaves. You end up paying for last year's emergency for years into the future. Kid version. It is like getting a flat tire and choosing to pay for it with extra fees forever. You could just fix the tire. Instead, you sign up for a payment plan that never ends. Here is the fix. Build a boring emergency fund first. Before you invest. Before you pay extra on debt. Before you do anything else. 3 to 6 months of essential expenses in a plain savings account. Boring is powerful. Boring is protective. Boring lets you sleep at night knowing that when something breaks, you have the money to fix it without going into debt. Part 8. Trap number 7. 2 incomes, 0 cushion. 2 incomes sound safer than 1. 2 people working, 2 paychecks coming in, twice the money. It feels solid. It feels secure. But sometimes 2 incomes create a hidden risk that people do not see until it is too late. Families build their entire life around both paychecks. The mortgage, the car payments, the lifestyle, all of it depends on both incomes continuing forever. So both paychecks become load-bearing. They are holding up the whole structure. If one paycheck disappears, if someone loses a job, if someone gets sick, if someone needs to stop working, the whole thing shakes. The whole structure is at risk. Kid version. It is like building a table with 2 legs instead of 4. It looks fine when everything is stable. But if one leg breaks, the table falls. There is no backup. No margin. Here is the move. Try to build your fixed costs, your mortgage, your car payments, your essential bills, so that one income can cover the basics. Not the extras. Not the luxuries. The basics. So that if something happens, you are not immediately in crisis. Use the second income to build real savings, real investments, real wealth. Use it to get ahead instead of just treading water. Part 9. Trap number 8. Keeping up with the highlight reel. Social media is a comparison machine. It is designed to make you feel like everyone else has more, does more, is more. You scroll through and see vacations, new cars, kitchen remodels, perfect lives. But you do not see the credit card statement. You do not see the debt. You do not see the stress behind the smile. A lot of rich-looking lives are financed. They are borrowed. They are not real. Kid version. It is like seeing someone holding a giant cake and thinking they are so lucky, but not seeing the bill behind it. Not seeing that they will be paying for that cake for years. Here is the truth. The only audience that matters is future you. Not the people scrolling past your photos. Not the friends who see what you buy. Not the neighbors with the nicer car. Just you, 10 or 20 or 30 years from now, living with the consequences of today's choices. Part 10. Trap number 9. Treat spending. Impulse spending does not feel like a habit. It feels like a moment. It feels like I deserve a little treat. It feels like this one thing, this small thing, this reward for getting through the day. And one treat is fine. One small reward does not ruin your finances. The problem is not the single treat. The problem is when it becomes a pattern. When every day brings a new treat. When the treats add up to more than you realize. Kid version. It is like eating one cookie a day and being shocked when the cookie jar is empty. Each cookie seemed harmless. Each one was just a little snack. But they added up, and now there is nothing left. Here is the move. Create a pause rule. Wait 24 hours before any non-essential purchase. Write it down. Think about it. Sleep on it. Most of the time, you will wake up and realize you do not actually need it. Part 11. Trap number 10. I will start retirement later. The biggest wealth superpower is time. Nothing else comes close. Not the perfect investment. Not the hot stock tip. Not the lucky break. Time. Starting earlier beats starting bigger every single time. If you start at 25, you can invest less and end up with more than someone who starts at 45 and invests twice as much. That is the magic of compounding. That is the power of time. Kid version. Planting a seed earlier grows a bigger tree. The seed you plant today, even a tiny one, has decades to grow. The seed you plant later, even if it is bigger, has less time to become what it could be. Here is the move. Automate your retirement contributions. Make them invisible. Make them happen without you deciding every month. Because if you rely on motivation, you will lose to your own brain. Your brain will always find a reason to wait until later. Part 12. Closing. Pick one hole. Here is what ties all of this together. Every single trap we talked about today shares one thing in common. None of them require you to be reckless. None of them require you to make obviously bad decisions. They only require you to be normal. And right now, normal is expensive. Normal is dangerous. Normal is leaving people stressed and anxious and one surprise away from disaster. So do not try to fix everything today. Do not try to escape all 10 traps at once. That is overwhelming. That is impossible. Pick the trap that hit you in the chest. The one where you said, yeah, that is me. That is my life. That is the hole in my backpack. Start there. Because that is where your story changes. That is where you stop being a victim of invisible traps and start being someone who sees them coming. If you want more videos that make money simple, honest, and actually usable, subscribe and watch the next one. That is what we do here. Not complicated formulas. Not get-rich-quick schemes. Just clear thinking about how money actually works. Because the goal is not to look rich. The goal is to have options. The goal is to build a life where money is not a source of stress, but a source of freedom. And options are what money is really for. I will see you in the next video.